Hello everyone, and welcome to another Deck Tech. As usual, this is a deck that I'm planning on playing at the Streamer Early Access event next week that Wizards of the Coast has kindly provided me a stocked account for, and I'm just going to walk through one of the decks I plan to try to explain why it interests me and what I'm trying to do. So, people have realized for a while now that we have a very wonky combo of Sorcerer's Wand, equipped creature gets tapped to shoot something for one, and Famished Paladin, as long as Famished Paladin has lifelink. Now, it turns out that giving this creature lifelink was not actually very easy to do. Aliantrazi was doing it with Deafening Clarion, choosing not to do the damage mode, but to do the give my creatures lifelink mode, which was odd, but at least Deafening Clarion's a decent card otherwise, as long as you weren't trying to sweep the board after playing your Paladin. And I guess you could play like Mark of the Vampire or something, but overall, not very good. Clunky, uninteresting to me. But we got not one, but two sweet Planeswalkers who I think are pretty good on their own, and also both can give lifelink to the Famished Paladin. First, we have Gideon Blackblade, who I think is just an absolutely excellent rate. For 3 mana, you basically get, at the very least, a 4/4 indestructible attacker every turn, and that's really good. Gideon of the Trials did that, and it had to use one of its loyalty abilities to get that part, so yeah, I'm really interested in this card. And then the +1 could give lifelink or vigilance, which are just great in this deck, either to gain life for Famished Paladin, or to trigger a Johnny's Pridemate, or vigilance to protect himself when one of these cards, like, I don't know, Adanto Vanguard gets vigilance or something like that. Pretty good. And then after just 2 turns, you get up to possibly using the -6 to exile target non-land permanent, and yeah, it doesn't get more unconditional than that, at least not these days. We don't get a lot of Vindicates anymore. So Gideon could tick up pressure a bit and then just get rid of anything that's annoying you too much. So yeah, pretty high on Gideon. I'm only playing 3 because we already have a bunch of other 3-drops that we want to play on curve, particularly the playset of Banalish Marshal, or equipping Sorcerer's Wand. And I think Gideon is also more likely to stick around than a lot of Planeswalkers. He has quite high loyalty for coming in on turn 3, and also doesn't really have a downtick ability, not like a lot of others do. So he's just going to sit there and be big, and you don't really want to draw too many copies. And then, importantly, the other Planeswalker that can go infinite with Famished Paladin is Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord. Sorin is in an interesting spot. I think he very much invites the comparison to a Johnny, Adversary of Tyrants, the 4-mana one that's in Standard, because the minus ability is actually quite similar to what a Johnny is doing. He reanimates our creatures. On the other hand, I think Sorin is better if you don't have any creatures. Like, if your board is wiped, or you just draw a Johnny doesn't really do anything. That's about it. He just sits there and pluses, and you hope to get to an ult, and that's not guaranteed. Meanwhile, Sorin is worse if you have plenty of creatures on the board already, because the uptick gains a life and deals a damage, and that's fine, but that's not really anything. That's not much of an ability. Whereas putting counters on things is pretty good. On the other hand, Sorin can minus and reanimate whatever we want. It costs less loyalty to bring back a 1-drop, so he can do that a lot of times, whereas a Johnny cannot. And he has the flexibility to bring back Banalish Marshal, which threatens a whole lot of damage even if they killed the Marshal the first time. So overall, I think Sorin is probably about as good of a card as a Johnny Adversary of Tyrants, but is better in this deck because of the potential to go infinite. So basically what's been understood, but I haven't actually mentioned yet in this deck tech, is what I'm doing here is just basically playing a good stuff white Weenie deck with an incidental infinite combo. We have, or I should say, we know that Healer's Hawk, Leonin Vanguard, Legion's Landing are all good aggressive cards. They attack and deal damage, and they all incidentally gain life for Johnny's Pridemate, so this can just get absurdly huge and crush people. Adanto Vanguard's like the best attacker in Standard, and with all these enablers, I think Famished Paladin will be a fine rate too, just a 3/3 for 2. So basically, even if our combo doesn't come together, we're a pretty good aggro deck. The only bad card we're playing is Sorcerer's Wand, and I guess that could even do something, although it's not very good. You don't play this card for that reason. But yeah, overall I think that's a fine strategy to be a pretty good aggro deck, like 7 or 8 out of 10. And then also threaten an infinite combo if they ever try to stall out the board or something like that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. This is another one of those ones where maybe we play it and Gideon's fantastic, but Sorin isn't great and the combo doesn't matter, so it ends up just being worse than a regular White Weenie aggro deck, but I certainly want to try it and find out. Alright, if you enjoyed this and you're looking forward to see if InfiniVamps is a thing worth doing, you should subscribe to this channel and also follow me on Twitch down below. I'll be streaming at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.